Dr. Govinda, Vice Chancellor, National University of Education, Planning and Administration, eminent panelists, ladies and gentlemen. May I just inform you before I go to my prepared statement that you may have to excuse me for leaving this house as soon as I finish my statement, as I have some pressing engagement with my senior colleague in the Ministry of External Affairs. I hope you would appreciate and permit me to go. I am delighted to have the opportunity to meet you again after I had been here to another program. I hope you would appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the International Literacy Day celebrations and the International Celebration on Women's Literacy for Inclusive and Sustainable Development. The world is getting closer, so much so that it is called a global village, as people, capital, and commodities move across nation. Ideas are also flowing freely and rapidly, and countries are learning and benefiting from each other's experience. It was in 1993 that India had cheered the proposal for collaborative efforts to advocate education for all that led to coming into being of the E9 framework. Since then, there have been regular reviews under the E9 Forum for grouping, E9 Forum for gauging implementation processes and outcome of EFA goals. The countries last met in Abuja to review the status of literacy in E9 countries. The Abuja framework was a definite step forward, as we had agreed to establish a framework of action for E9 cooperation towards the realization of education for all. In the Abuja framework, there was an explicit mention about SouthSouth Cooperation and beyond. The conference today presents one more opportunity to build on our recent successes. I propose that we collectively identify the issues on which such cooperation would be converged. In this regard, let me share my thoughts on the possible avenues of cooperation. To start with, we could discuss securing effective convergence. Literacy and lifelong education programs require collaboration among the different departments, sectors, institutions, and organizations. It is essential, therefore, to formulate effective and implementable strategies with interlinkages and convergence. Development of new systems and effective processes require good investment of the resources, both financial as well as technical. Saksha Bharat is a thoroughly revamped initiative, and India would be willing to share information and experience that was gained in evolving this program. Another area to be considered is availability of quality and need-based teaching and learning materials. It is very much essential that teaching and learning material should respond to diverse needs of different groups of target people. one-size-fits-all teaching learning material will fail to meet the needs and the aspirations of all learners. For SouthSouth Bharat program, the teaching learning material has been designed and developed with local contextual relevance in order to promote lifelong learning and long-term community development. The material is available over 24 languages and several hundred dialects. The experience and knowledge about addressing the needs of the learners by adopting suitable strategies and the processes could be shared for the benefit of all ENA members. A third area for sharing experience could be in terms of assessment procedures. Literacy assessment is a critical component of monitoring educational progress. In adopting the EFA goals and the Millennium Development Goals, there is recognition of the need for having consistent data based on clear indicators and reliable methods. It is well known that the literacy rate currently draw on a variety of indicators, many of them serving as proxies for level of actual literacy use. There is immediate need for standardizing the process of assessment, which would ensure more concrete follow-up actions. It is imperative also to focus on both qualitative and quantitative assessment. Under SouthSouth Bharat program, India has introduced a nationwide assessment procedure. The procedure and the practical experience can be shared with partner countries. Ladies and gentlemen, we could also discuss further cooperation in effective application of ICT in literacy and lifelong education. The use of information and communication technologies, ICT, continues to expand exponentially, bringing unprecedented opportunities for achieving greater educational access and success. Given this potential, attention should be paid to how ITC can contribute to increasing access to literacy and improving the quality of literary education. You have yesterday witnessed a detailed presentation on ICT application that have been developed. This experience can be shared with partner countries too. Friends, we need to also work together on using appropriately evidence-based consultations with various stakeholders for policy development. In order to make effective policies and plans, there is need for more evidence-based analysis and the consultations to enhance the interconnections between social research and policy formulations. The rich experience in planning and implementing SouthSouth Bharat program is as diverse and topographically varied a country as India can be shared readily with partner countries. I would suggest also that the transparency and the participative planning process, community participation, need assessment system and method, web-based accounting system may also be explored. The National Literacy Mission Authority, NLMA, has made an explicit provision for the international cooperation. To begin from international experience, NLMA will strive to establish an international network and work closely with the UNESCO, UNICEF, and other international organizations to arrive at bilateral and multilateral arrangements to mutually beneficial partnership. In Abuja, India has agreed to share the Indian financial management model with E9 countries by organizing 2 technical workshops in India on cost analysis of illiteracy. India had also agreed to share information on the management information system among all E9 countries, strengthen multilingual and multicultural literacy programs, share experience in the effort to link literacy to development, develop as a framework on the use of ICT in literacy program, and share best practices. In order to deliver on our commitment, we propose to have an institutional mechanism for the sharing of experiences on all these aspects in a gainful manner. In the same spirit, we shall also like to benefit from the experiences of others. Friends, funding adult education program, however, continues to be an area of concern. Sustained international cooperation, especially among donor countries, requires significant impetus. We can also look for the cooperation beyond government framework. In this context, networks of NGOs, universities, adult education associations could play an important role. I also propose that the agenda of the cooperation in adult literacy should not be confined to a UNESCO platform. It should permeate to the agenda of the regional and bilateral cooperation. 3 of E9 countries, namely Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India, are also members of SAARC. It would be most desirable that promotion of the literacy figures permanently in the agenda of SAARC and in the bilateral cooperation program of countries in South Asia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by conveying my best wishes to all the participants. I look forward to a very enriching session with insightful deliberations. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.